Before we get out of here, Joe, and we go along our Super Bowl Sunday here, Kevin Kelly has been hired by Clemson as the Director of Player Evaluation and Acquisition. He was in the Chargers front office as a scout and doing other things throughout. But a 20-year experience in the NFL, the bigger question more than Kevin Kelly coming in is Dabo moved to the 21st century.
There's two parts to talk about with this. There's the Clemson angle. There is the roster construction, front office construction for the sport of football angle. For Clemson, this is significant. We have talked a lot about, and we have criticized. I have especially criticized Dabo for being archaic, for being behind on the times, to not effectively approaching how to build a team and a roster in the modern era. I mean, it came down to signing day, the early signing period, where we were really letting him have it for putting together a pretty weak recruiting class. But since then, he has bounced back with brick by brick moves that have helped this team become modernized. They went after and got Will Helton, who's one of the top defensive guys in the portal. They went and brought and spent a lot of money on Allen as their new DC. They're now in this position where they're actually building a front office. Hiring somebody who's not just an up-and-comer for this role and actually going to the NFL. We're also not going to the NFL to grab. There's a lot of young dudes in the NFL that are great scouts that could hold these types of roles. I know plenty of them. But to go and get somebody who 20 years of experience with the Chargers, who have scouted really well, their lack of performance in the field was a coaching issue. In the last 20 years, they have produced and scouted some really good players, and they have managed that roster very, very well. To have somebody
Austin
with this
Eckler, to your point, Austin Eckler's in his bio, if you want to throw that in there.
Seriously. Like, that's a really, really good example. I think that now knowing and seeing Clemson take this so seriously is a reflection of Clemson's step in the right direction, but the sport now needing to aggressively modernize, to actually aggressively approach this as we need to go and get the faces from the NFL. Otherwise, we're going to keep mismanaging these rosters. The revenue sharing is going to make things difficult for us. So having guys like this that know how to manage these salaries, all of this stuff, and acquire talent is how they get better. It's very interesting.
What did he scout? High school or college players?
College players.
Interesting, isn't it? Are you going in there to ask him to now scout high school players? No.
Might as well call him like a portal czar. That's what
I mean, way to go, Trump. But I mean, since we're calling everybody a czar now. I mean, it's very difficult for me to look at a guy that you hired. Now, this can change. I don't know the vision of what Dabo wants to do here. You're bringing a guy that has 20 years of experience evaluating college talent across the country. Who has connections with agents that will be representing college athletes. I think Dabo about to start portaling. I think he got a taste for it. I think he's about to start portaling. You know why? Because he's having horrible times in high school recruiting because of NIL and the portal. He can't build the way that he needs to build. If this ultimately happens, good on Dabo. You cannot. And here's the thing that I think that Dabo was thinking in the beginning. There's going to be regulation. We're going to go on. And I've made some big comments about it. So I can't go out there and change now. He now does not have a choice. And I wonder if people around Clemson put his feet to the fire. I really do. Now, I'll give him this. Joe, he's done some interesting things, meaning Dabo, for only recruiting in high school. What would Clemson be if they did both? So we've seen the floor of you not going in the portal. Yeah. What now happens when you do go in the portal?
That's why I've really started to, if anyone's noticed the past month, I've really turned my perspective on Dabo and on Clemson. I mean, this is a big reason why is the last high school class that they signed was shit. It was not a good class. It was not up to the standard. There just wasn't that same cachet that we have but there is still a really good, talented group of guys on this team. Where I'm like really curious is what does this team look like next signing day? What does it look next portal haul? I think that we're going to be sitting here on this show saying Clemson's the biggest portal winner.
The internet's going to break.
If
they get more than 4 portal players, the internet's going to break.
Yeah. Yeah.
And quite frankly, post K Klubnik, then what? I mean, then what? I mean, listen, Joe, we've talked about this ad nauseum, and I'll just end it with this. It's not